let me stick with this Trump administration for a little while longer. This is always a fun conversation to have.
Trump's a funny guy. Fucking clown.
Nah, your man. I mean, I really want to hear your thoughts. Trump called for Russia to be readmitted into the G7 summit.
Yeah,
now, granted,
he just left though.
For people who don't know their history, it used to be the G8 summit. But Russia was actually thrown out after they invaded. I think it was Crimea in like 2014, and Trump wants him back. He's like, yo, let's bring him back in, and I'll do one better. We're not going to hit Russia with no additional sanctions. So I'm hitting the entire world with sanctions. Countries that y'all ain't never even heard of. Countries that's the size of freaking the Bronx or something.
And some countries don't even have humanity or humans on them. It's just penguins. There's some countries
Is that not insanity?
Insanity. But we're also talking about the same guy who's like, sanction, that's his favorite word. Also back off of sanctions and take away sanctions. I don't think that there's all these countries calling up to him. And no, I think that I think that a lot of people, you got the ultra hardcore MAGA, whatever you want to call them. I almost slipped up and said something. But you got a certain demographic that looks at him like the Lord and Savior. You know what I mean? He can do no wrong. And we're also talking about like an 80-year-old man. I don't care what his records say. He's only weighs this much, and he can still do 100 push-ups consecutively at his age. I don't believe the same way I don't believe that the weapons of mass destruction and Iran has all these nuclear. I've been hearing that story a long time. I don't believe those same people who lied to us then are lying to us now. Like, no, his cognitive abilities are still all there. What was it, like TV, cat, dog, the stuff you have to remember and recite it back, that shows your cognitive ability? No, I think that some Americans put way too much faith and hope and trust into a president as if he was like literally Yeshua, the second coming. I think that that's bull in me. I don't agree with that. I don't trust no man, especially a politician, a polytrickster. That's the last thing I'll ever do, is to trust somebody from that group of people. That's the last thing I would do. It's a bunch of con artists, con men. And that is not just for Trump. That's for anybody. Anybody can get that title. I think if once you hit that certain level, in order to even make it that far, you had to have been a con something. Con artist, con man, convict. I don't know. You would con something. Con artist, contradiction. It's a lot of cons up in D.C.
Your man Trump has been conning the world for years. Let's just call it like it is. I mean, this is a guy who has filed bankruptcy, I believe, 7 times in his life.
I bet his credit score is still 850.
Mm-hmm. It probably is.
900. What? They go that high?
Nah, it probably is. Real talk. But, what is your thoughts on the fact, like, the bromance is over? Like, his bestie of besties, Elon Musk, which we all saw coming. Like, let's start there.
The BBLs.
Were you surprised
I call them the BBLs, the butt buddy losers. Yeah. The butt buddy losers. Yeah, the BBLs. I ain't talking about Drake. I'm talking, yeah.
How surprised were you when this bromance erupted and they had, let's call it a public feud, a public tiff, 2 billionaires going out at each other on social media?
I have a lot of me wants to say that it was a distraction. Might have been like a distraction. I don't know. But then another part of me is like, I just think that that's how he's built. I think he's built that way. Like, I'll use you for one thing only, maybe two things, and then I'm done. Because he was just buying his cars and had like a whole a used car salesman trying to pitch us all Teslas on the front lawn. You know,
on the front lawn.
Yeah, you go from that to all of a sudden being like, I don't like this guy anymore. I don't know. I think a lot of it could have been a distraction, something going on behind the scenes that maybe some bills slipped through the cracks that we weren't able to see. We're too caught up on that. Maybe we're too caught up on that and didn't see what was going on and, you know, with the conflicts in the Middle East. I don't know. But I also think that I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to call them smart for a little bit. Like maybe Elon, maybe kind of smart, but I don't know about him sometimes. That's the same dude who was lying about being #1 on a video game, and the dude don't even play. I don't know who to believe anymore. I don't know who to believe. I think that I know one thing. I'm not going to say I don't know who to believe. I don't believe anybody. I damn sure don't believe what the TV shows us and what you got the biggest richest men in the world or whatnot, arguing on Twitter. How do you get to that level of success and you're petty? You're arguing in front of the population, the American people. When you argue like that, you know, and put everything allegedly out on the table, I'm like, how do you get to that level of power when you can't control your own mouth, you know, your emotion? You're willing to argue about stuff on Twitter that may or may not be true. I mean, even Elon Musk, he had to redact one of the things he said about Trump being on the Epstein file client list or whatnot. I mean, we all knew that. We all knew that. We saw a video of him with Epstein, but I've also seen a video and a picture with Elon with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Correct. Yep.
You know, so, I mean, for him to say that, but ignore that, it's kind of weird to me. It's like, look at this hand, but not what this hand is doing.
Nah, I think at the end of the day, Elon, you have to understand, I believe he's now crowned the world's richest man. He has a megaphone as large, if not larger than Trump's, meaning he owns Twitter. This is a guy with 240 million followers. He puts out a tweet, the world sees it.
Yeah.
He's got the money to back it up. Like, you're dealing with somebody that has FU money and a FU attitude. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. I'm the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Like, these are two massive egos, and it was a powder keg. You knew one day they were going to be going at each other.
And that's the type of people we want.
Go ahead.
That's the type of people we want to have an influence on our country, though. The fact that people were cheering for that duo, that Butt Buddy Love, that BBL, you know, I think it's wild. I think it's wild. Those two massive egos. Somebody's going to have to, you can't have that. No. Two alphas, and I've never seen it really work out that great.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Trump actually said he'd be open to reconciliation. Mm-hmm. He was like, you know, I'd be open to reconciling in the future. And you got to understand, when you get on Trump's bad side, when he marks you as disloyal, as somebody he can't trust, it ain't no coming back with this guy.
Yeah.
The fact that he, you know, a couple of days after, I mean, Elon said he regretted some of the tweets he put out there. But Trump's like, yo, you know what? I consider reconciling with him. Mm-hmm. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that Elon was Trump's largest donor in the 2024 election?
I think it has a lot to do with that, mixed in with a little bit of The Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. You know, they go have dinner after the fact, but for the people to watch and see, you know, it's a wrestling match. You got to believe in the show, the entertainment. One dude's all about ratings. He loves talking about ratings and having, you know, I'm going to get this many ratings for this show. One's about ratings. It could just be a show. Do I take Elon seriously? No, at all. Like, dude's a weirdo. Let's be honest. He's an absolute weirdo. I've never lied about being number one in a video game. You know, that shit's weird to me. That's a weird individual. What else has he lied about? If you're willing to lie about something like that, what else are you lying about?
What video game was he saying he was number one in?
I don't even know what it's called. It's like some World of Warcraft type shit. You know, them little lame ass games. It's weird games where it's like, I don't even get it. It's like witchery stuff. I don't know. They be throwing magic balls and stuff. I don't know. He was number one in it. I gotta look it up.
Yo, you know, I heard you mention that earlier. That's so crazy to think that this man who owns SpaceX, owns Tesla, owns Twitter.
Mm-hmm. He didn't build it though.
He's running around bragging that he's number one on a video game.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He bought Twitter. How was it with did he buy or acquired who was it? What is it? SpaceX? He acquired this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, it is what it is, but I'm sure
he's a rich dude.
In business, there's no permanent friends and no permanent enemies.
Yep.
Those two, for one another, they're good for business.
Yeah.
So they'll be friends again. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.